Hey, welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I'm your host, Christian, the unbiased king, Espinal. And joining me through Discord, it is the man, the myth, the legend, my partner in crime, the tank top sage. It's Joshua Gangsta Time Cole.
It's called partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
It's good, Chris. What up, everybody listening?
Hey. Also joining us, it is our Star Wars producer. It is Edgelord Big News Brian.
Nerds.
Oh, we're back, baby. We're back for a new episode of talking about manga and stuff. But before we could get into that, let's get into plugs. You can find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Joshua Cole, where can they find you?
JD Cole _37. That's on Instagram. And at New Jump City Josh. It's on X, formerly known as Twitter.
Yeah, Brian.
You can find me at b.esp on both Instagram and Twitter. And if you ever want to catch me when I'm streaming, you can find me at twitch.tv/itspunchline.
Ooh, yeah. You can follow the show itself out at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram. You can email the show itself at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about. Email us there, and we will get back to you at the pre-show chat show that we do every week. We just did a new one. We answered a couple questions among talking about other stuff. So, manga, not manga related. We just shoot the shit on there. So check that out. You can subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. That'll be Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you listen to podcasts. We're on there. We're doing it. We're there. And I think that's all the plugs, right? I think that we got everything. So, oh, my bad. Without further ado, let's get... I did it too early. Without further ado, let's get into the show.
Bloody Cross.
My Hero Academia. This is My Hero Academia chapter 419, Design. Last we left off, Midoriya has been shooting aspects of his one-for-all quirk directly into Shigaraki's mind in order to break through and reach the actual Shigaraki that lives within, like the child that lives within him, so that he could save him and all that stuff. But he actually managed to do that. Him and Nana Shimura managed to get through and kind of talk through some stuff. Shigaraki was still kind of like, I'm still a bad guy, because at the end of the day, villains need a hero too. So, and we started to get little flashbacks of Shigaraki's dad being being approached by someone, but we don't really know who it is. But we do know that it might just be All For One, and it is pretty much confirmed by the fact that All For One's non-face pulls up inside of Shigaraki's psyche and is like, ha ha ha, I'm actually alive this whole time, and I succeeded in my merging with Shigaraki, so, it is me. I'm the final villain. And that's where we left off. Midoriya is falling out of Shigaraki's mind, and All For One starts talking that shit.
Oh, that good shit.
This is his actual quirk.
Over. We thought it was done.
Yeah.
You would be All For One would be a nightmare in Call of Duty lobbies.
He would make me throw my remote, frankly, if he was playing Madden with me. But yeah, he's just like talking all this shit about how like dumb, foolish Tenko Shimura, you such a pure, credulous superego, a soft simpleton. And it was like, Jesus Christ.
A soft simpleton.
Jesus Christ.
He's an alliteration.
Yeah, this is a lot. And he's like, you didn't make a single decision in your life. I had to do it. I made every choice that you made, you know, down to the fact that like I passed down your quirk. I removed the yet unknown quirk factor passed down by your parents. I encouraged your father to be a fucking dick. I was the guy who walked you home that day, you know, and I was the guy who gave you that.
Convinced them to have him in the first place.
Yeah, this is some Eisen shit where he was like, I knew your entire, I planned your entire fucking birth, your whole fucking life. I made those kids, you know, bully that kid so you would try to help them and then I walked you home. I took a lot of fucking time and effort here. And you know, it's all me. Everything you are. You speak of your unwavering heart. Nonsense, for shame. So, you know, he casts Shigaraki away. He like tears him apart, it looks like. And you know, it seems that All For One takes over Shigaraki's body completely. As he's talking, there's like a little coming out that's like Shigaraki, and he's like, you know, oh, a lingering note, and he materializes a mouth onto his mouth and says, be silent. But I'm like, how can you talk if you also have the mouth on it? If it shuts Shigaraki up, why does this mouth not shut you up?
It's pretty swag.
It's a cool thing. I always like the hands-on face look Shigaraki had. But yeah, All For One is completely taken over, and he's just looking around like, are you dead yet, boy? And he's like pissed because Shigaraki's body kind of sucks now. He's like, the vessel I spent years searching for, cultivating, is ruined, as is my brother, all that remains. And he says, I'll move on to my hollow, immaterial final goal. That is to say, the world. Midoriya tries to get up, but he can't because both of his arms were ripped off, it seems. So, not looking good for Midoriya. He
lost them IRL.
Yeah, he if you lose them in the dream, you lose them IRL. So that's rough. And then All For One is like loss and danger of strength. That's a narrative trope I intend to establish. Such a pitiful end was inevitable for a child with nothing to lose in the first place. And he's about to blast Shigaraki, but that's when Sero pulls up, and he, you know, tapes him up. He's like, Midoriya needs saving, pal. And that's when Ojiro and the Sugar Man pulls up and punches All For One away. And the last to come through the portal that does look like a Kurogiri portal is Aizawa. As he walks through saying, Midoriya, sorry for the delay. And that is where the chapter ends. All right. Well, Josh, what do you think about My Hero Academia chapter 419?
I think there was such a wildly huge missed opportunity to not give Aizawa a peg leg and let him be Pirate Aizawa. You know
why a peg leg?
Look like a pirate.
Pirazawa.
Pirazawa. Yeah. But no, this was an exhilarating chapter. Not my favorite one of the week, but pretty damn close. I will say the second. So there's that. But anyway, if you thought that Ujiro and Sugar Man was gonna pull up unironically, say I.
Definitely not me.
I don't
was
think
not in the
anybody
cards.
listening said it either. I don't think Horikoshi even knew. I think his assistants drew that. And it was like, yeah, how you feel about that? And he said, yeah. You know what?
I approve.
Let's do it. Let's do it. They drew the outlines and he said, I got y'all. You know? Because there's no way, he thought to give a little bit of more attention to these side characters without any external pressure or influence. Page 13, top right panel, right below the guy with the hand on his face. Deku's dirty hand makes another appearance. Brian was
Cameo
ecstatic.
from Deku's Dirty Hand.
Yes, this is one of Brian's favorite characters. And
Yeah, Dirty Deku.
Deku. Yeah. Like if
Downright
there was a My
dirty.
Hero Academia fighting game, Dirty Deku would be like an alternate character. Like he wouldn't be a different skin of Midoriya. He would be an alternate character with similar moves but different like frame data and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And you would
For-
use him.
for
Like how,
extra
like in
dirty.
Smash Bros. Yeah, like
Extra
you know how like
dirty.
Marth and Roy are like the same but not really. So I know in case Brian forgets to mention it because of how excited this chapter probably made him, I wanted to point that out. Also, one of my favorite panels of the week, if you go to page 8, Shigaraki getting obliterated by the realization that his life was a scam. That's pretty rough. I felt really bad for Shigaraki in that panel. Like, wow, all of this dog, your sister, your family, and all these other people that you hated on, but that was orchestrated. Like right under that, he just was like, he told him, "Be gone from my body." Like he was really, we thought he was gone for good. I did. I'm not happy that he's back. It is a twist. I was not expecting that shit at all. I'll give Horikoshi that. That was one of the better twist from his series so far. Man, he's like almost a corpse though. He's like a mummy. He looks like a dried up cannon.
they're gonna make Deku the tape arms. And it's gonna be so sick.
He's gonna come out the portal and give him a hug and reboot him. And then all for one is gonna be like nonsense.
Hate,
He's gonna get
love
fucking
is
washed.
bad.
And go. He's gonna scream, yeah, because he's, I don't know. I don't have any other thoughts. What's up, Brian? What did you think about this chapter?
I thought it was really fucking sick that these guys kind of showed up. Kind of an odd time for them to be reintroduced, but hey, it got reintroduced, and that's all that matters. Super happy to see them. But honestly, I don't have too many thoughts on this chapter. I really want to see. I really want to figure out because I hope Eri doesn't show up. That's the main thing. Is that I hope Eri doesn't show up and just give Deku his arms back. I want this to be like the moment where we kind of see just how real Deku is, right? Like he never needed quirks. He never needed his fucking arms because he was always breaking them anyway. Like
Deku doesn't need
it's all
arms.
about his fucking heart. It's all about his fucking heart and determination. That was always his character. So if Eri just shows up and fixes his arms, I'll be so fucking pissed. But those are
If
my
he turns
thoughts.
into a quadriplegic. They say that?
Yeah, you can say the word quadriplegic.
No, I said, how do you say that? I said it right?
Oh yeah, quadriplegic.
Do you know what that is, Brian?
Quadriplegic?
Yeah, you ever watch the Oolongs on like Adult Swim?
Damn, that was
There's
such
an
a
oolong.
it's a TV show
Oh,
from
whatever.
like the early 2000s on Adult Swim.
Yeah. Basically, like, no limbs, just torso and neck and head. I think like it needs to get to that point for Midoriya, and then he can show All for One like what time it is. On who's boss?
Yeah, frankly, I don't think I could respect Midoriya if he doesn't beat All for One without arms and legs.
Yeah, because he could still talk,
Right?
make gestures, somewhat.
Yeah, you know, like flick his head up. He'd be like, sup.
Yeah. Put his head down in disappointment of All for One. Like, you have no swag and no purpose.
You're not even
And
wearing
more
suits
importantly,
anymore.
no morals. Such a nasty person. I'm not happy that he's back. Shouldn't be. Inko really fucked up.
Yeah.
Shit. Deku fucked up. They thought their plan was gonna shut all that shit down, and it just reawakened. This motherfucker was buried somewhere like a fucking cockroach. I hate this guy.
I fucking hate this guy.
He really is a villain.
Mm-hmm.
Sukuna is a beast, but this guy's a true villain. He does things for sinister purposes. Sukuna just wants to be the best, like Ash. You know what I'm saying? Like Ash Ketchum of sorcery, jujutsu sorcery, and fighting in general. This nigga, like All for One, he just wants everyone to know, like, he's the. Damn, are they the same? He does want everyone to know he's the best.
I wanna be
He's
the
just
very
weird.
best.
He's sadistic.
Brian, do you have any other thoughts?
On My Hero?
Yeah.
No. Just don't, for the love of God, don't bring Eri into this and have her heal his arms.
My feelings on this chapter are a lot more complicated. I honestly, I was very disappointed that All for One is back. I thought last week we didn't get to cover it, and I thought it was a good moment for Shigaraki was the idea that like the villains need heroes too, and that's such a like good way to describe the dynamic he had with the League of Villains, the original crew. And it's one of those things that I really appreciated is that like at the end of the day, Shigaraki saw himself as immature as it was and has like bad as it was, a good villain is rooted in like good intention but does really bad things. So like Shigaraki seeing himself as a guy who is representing the people who fall through the cracks of a system in this kind of society and in criminal justice and all that stuff is I thought was really good. And you know, this whole battle of Shigaraki reassuring himself that this is his thing. You know, he's doing it. These are his ideals that he is going for. And All for One coming back and reassuring that like actually it was all me is like kind of cheapens Shigaraki's arc. And we've seen this before. We've gone through this with Naruto, where we had Obito get a reversal with Madara, and then Madara got his own reversal with Kaguya. And it's kind of similar what's happening now, where we have All for One kind of taking the autonomy of Shigaraki's character, and that just kind of makes him a less interesting character. You know, because then like none of this was his responsibility in any shape or form. He was manipulated from the start. He had no shot. No decision was ever his. And he was just like a passive guy this whole time, and passive characters are not particularly good. And I don't know. I want to say that, you know, Horikoshi, this was just like probably an editor whispering in his ear. Because I feel like this is such a weird direction to take. I feel like the best thing possible was for Shigaraki to become the next All for One in his own way, you know? Because the whole idea throughout the course of this series is passing down the torch. We saw it with Shigaraki and Midoriya. That was their parallel, is that they like good versus evil is passing it down to the next generation. And this was supposed to be the fight that ends that cycle. But now we've taken all the onus off of Shigaraki and given it to All for One so that we have a problem that we could punch. And that'll be pretty much it. And, you know, I think it's just also to set up like a redemption moment for Shigaraki at the end of the day. For him to come back and do something quote unquote good. And, you know, at the end of the day, I think, you know, I think Eri is definitely coming back. And I think Eri is going to come back specifically to give Deku his arms back.
No, please.
Because you don't bring her up. You don't remind us of her if you're not intending to use her, because she's too powerful. Her quirk is too convenient at the moment for her little scene there earlier on a few chapters ago to be just like kind of a throwaway little scene. I don't imagine that she won't show up again and play a big part in this. But yeah, that's my whole thing. I don't like it. And I feel like this is like a thing with shonen. It's one of those like things that at the end of the day, they will always try to push for a more like battle heavy conclusion where things get wrapped up in a nice little bow. And we were asked a question a while ago in the pre-show chat show of what would make us not really like fuck with One Piece anymore. And if One Piece did something like this, where, you know, it's just forces out of control, there's like villains within villains just popping up and taking responsibility away and becoming more like simplistic representations of evil, so that we could say we did something at the end of the day. That's something that I wouldn't really fuck with too much. But it happened here, and it's very reminiscent of Naruto to me. And where I think what Naruto went wrong is just, you know, giving a more flimsy villain all of the responsibility, so you can, I guess, like, for lack of a better word, force a redemption on the villain that you actually like. So I don't know.
No, I agree.
I still think
very well said.
I still think My Hero would have benefited greatly from being in a more like in a publication for more mature stuff.
Maybe.
Because I know there was like after the whole My Villain Academia part, like that's when My Hero changed, like for the worse.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like after that moment, like the rest of the series became more cookie cutter, more like, oh shit, well, can't really do anything too complicated anymore. And that ended up, you know, stopping everything in its tracks. And it's a shame, you know, because if it was in a better, not in a better publication, but in a publication that fit the themes it was trying to cover better, it would have been like one of the greatest anime of all time, or one of the best manga of all time, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm not too sure of how much a different publication would really change it, because it's not like My Hero Academia needs to be more mature in order to get their point across. I think generally stories just go for more palatable endings because you know, it sells better. But
think about it. Everything that My Hero was setting up originally was like the themes were very real for shonen manga, like super real shit. Like they were getting into like, you know, when it comes to the League of Villains, they were getting into characters that like were reasonably like, it kind of reflected reality, right? Like people with mental health issues that were ignored, or they were put into like domestic abuse cases. Like all these people were rejected by the world because they weren't perfect, and they were treated like they were less than human for things that they that they never had the resources to take care of them, right? So like that's pretty intense for regular shonen, right? Like cuz usually it would be like, "Oh, this person died," or "Hey, this person killed my clan." Stuff like that, right? But they don't it wasn't it felt too real. And I think Shonen Jump didn't really want villains to be that real or to for people to feel that much sympathy for villains. And that kind of threw everything out of whack, right? Especially with Todoroki and their family, considering that is also an incredibly heavy case.
Yeah,
So
but that one I think was like handled a little like fine, you know. I liked for the most part how that was dealt with. I don't know. I think this is just like an overall problem with manga in general because there's not a lot of manga that end well. Um, even in like other publications that are not Jump. So it is just like kind of I don't know what happened. I don't know if this was Horikoshi's intention from the beginning. It makes sense because it is very like just kind of shonen to end with like a big wahaha bad guy. Um, but yeah, I don't know. And it's not over yet, so who knows what's gonna happen. I just wanted to get that out of the way. I just think the idea of taking away characters' autonomy is corny. You don't want to do that, especially with someone like Shigaraki who, has made strides and has been an interesting character for the most part. I like what they were doing with him, and especially with the last chapter, I really love that moment because that is what Shigaraki was all about. And the League of Villains is that they were just this little family of outcasts and people who were let down by the system. But really, it was just this old bitter fuck who's evil because he was born that way. There's nothing about All for One that's particularly
Very simple.
Yeah, there's nothing about All for One in particular that's very deep outside of just being a hateful person.
I'm really mean.
Yeah, even his backstory was fairly like, I was born and, I was born in really shitty circumstances. And from the second I was a baby, I was like, fuck this world.
He's a psychopath.
Yeah, which is fine. I mean, I was cool with that because Shigaraki represented something more evolved, because he is the main villain. It was Tomoru Shigaraki who was the guy at the end you had to beat, in my eyes. So All for One could just be this hateful embodiment of evil that gave him this platform and this ability to do what he wanted to do, which was, a little more nuanced and a little more interesting. But
yeah, that's pretty symbolic.
But
of itself.
Yeah, but I don't want to spend all my time hating on this because, like, I could let it go at this point because we're at the end. I did really like Sero pulling up, Sero Ojiro and the Sugar Man. I was very excited to see them, and I am hoping that the next chapter is all of the students coming through and everybody. This is basically a Sukuna fight with everybody in My Hero Academia. I would be cool with that.
That'd be pretty fucking fire. They're all using their special moves and in unison.
Yeah.
And getting blasted away too for their efforts.
Yeah, and there's certain moments I did really enjoy. I do like, I guess, All for One's design in this, and it is what it is on that front. But I am happy to see it looks like Kurogiri is back because this is his warp gate.
Yeah,
so that's exciting. But those are my thoughts. Really, it's just I guess I'm just a little disappointed that at the end of the day, I'm always just hoping for series to at their end of the arcs to kind of get away from just this cookie cutter ending. But it is really difficult. It seems like not even Jujutsu Kaisen seems to be the closest, but who's to say? But those are all my thoughts, really. I don't know. Do you guys have any rebuttals? Anything?
Nah.
Alrighty. Well, with that being said, let's move onward. Jujutsu Kaisen. This is Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 256, Inhuman Makyo Shinjuku Showdown part 28. Okay, so last we left off with Jujutsu Kaisen. We saw that Miguel came by and saved Kusakabe and Ui, along with his boy here, his buddy. And we get to see how this development came to be. Apparently, Yuta went over to Africa to recruit Miguel on Gojo's behalf. And Miguel's like, you want me to fight some guy stronger than Gojo? The fuck I look like? I'm not doing that shit. He's like, why do you, there's like, I guess implications that Gojo's racist.
Yeah, that was funny.
Gojo's like, why does Gojo always think that like cheerful black people could survive anything, you know? And why didn't Gojo come here himself? But yeah, then his friend LaRue actually, pulls him aside to talk to him alone. And LaRue is just like, look, I just wanted Geto to win, but this whole situation is because that guy killed Geto, and the least we could do is go over there and try to avenge him. So, Miguel eventually agrees in that moment, and, he goes over to fight. We learned that LaRue's technique is he's able to grab stuff. His technique's called heart catch, and he can grab the target of cursed techniques. And Miguel's power is prayer song, which the beat that he keeps with his body drives away curses and strengthens his physical abilities.
The Hakuna Luna, right?
The what?
It's called the Hakuna Luna.
Is that what it's called? It says here prayer song. So I don't know.
Hold on.
But they basically jump.
I guess the translations from other things call it the Hakuna Luna. Or some shit like that.
Yeah. Well, in any case, everybody's jumping Sukuna, and it's not looking good for him for a second, but then all of a sudden Sukuna pulls off a black flash on LaRue, and we got that little moment where it mentioned that Satoru Gojo regained reverse curse technique after 2 black flashes. And as for the King of Curses, and we start off with this chapter 256, where we open with Gojo explaining why he can't use Black Flash, and it's a really long conversation, and Black Flash is hard enough to explain on its own. But I'm gonna try to do this as much as I can. But Gojo, it's all to say that Gojo has like a tough time pulling off Black Flash. Because apparently he seems to have the most Black Flashes total, but Nanami surpasses him in consecutive Black Flashes. But he also doesn't usually get to use Black Flash because his fights end really fast. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a big long explanation. But in any case,
basically Black Flash is like rolling a nat 20.
Yes. It's very difficult. It's very luck based because of the degree of difficulty that goes into actually consciously doing it. So, there's a lot of factors that go into a Black Flash, and you basically have to be really lucky, and all the things have to fall right into place when you're doing it, despite the intentionality of doing it. So we cut back to present time, and Sukuna has just pulled off his Black Flash. All of the characters are like, "Ah, shit, it's a Black Flash. I don't know how many times he could do this before he regains his reverse curse technique. So we just got to blitz him right now. And blitz him they do, you know. They Choso and Itadori immediately start going after him. Maki pins him up against a wall. Unfortunately, Sukuna is able to pull off a Black Flash himself again on Maki for the third time. And his
Maki got hit by 2 of them, right?
Maki got hit by both.
She got hit by 2 Black Flashes, and then LaRue got hit by 1.
Maki got hit with 1 Black Flash, then LaRue, then Maki again.
Which is wild.
Maki has bad luck. And she got hit with the slashes because, you know, the output of his normal slashes are increasing. Sukuna actually manages to land a 4th Black Flash on Choso, but he mostly blocks it with his technique. And Yuji comes in and faces off against him. Miguel's like, LaRue, that's enough. We should pull out. And LaRue's like, no, there's still more left to do. Itadori and Sukuna are going at it. Sukuna attempts to pull off the piercing blood. He manages to scratch Sukuna. And then he creates some distance.
Itadori does.
Did I say that? Did I not say it?
It's crazy.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It's Sukuna. But yeah, how crazy was that? Just gotta mention.
Yeah, I was like, piercing blood, let's go. So, you know, he's and Itadori like creates some distance. He powers up his arm, and we get a narration. This is like, in Shibuya, Mahito had a feeling that Itadori would use Black Flash, and now Sukuna is experiencing a similar feeling. However, and then Sukuna's eyes turn to hearts, and his eyes are drawn directly to LaRue because his curse technique doesn't just involve physical. He can also like attract people to him, you know, mentally and stuff. So, you know,
that is so sick.
Yeah, it was really cool moment. And that gives Itadori just enough opening to pull off a Black Flash of his own.
Which is massive.
Yeah, a big boy Black Flash right on Sukuna. And Black Flash releases Yuji's potential amidst a shower of black sparks. Yuji Itadori has awakened. Let's fucking go. That's where the chapter ends. Josh.
RGC.
Yeah, Josh, what did you think about this chapter?
RGC, that's what I thought.
Yeah, it's also mine. So.
Unified RGC.
It is a lot, right?
Wait, what?
Unified RGC.
Unified RGC. Unified RGC.
All right, Josh, proceed.
It's been a while since Itadori landed one of these Black Flashes. It's been a long time.
It's been a while.
Like, I think the last time was in Shibuya. Shibuya. But yeah, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't care how repetitive these chapters are getting. I think it's so dope. I like how they keep coming up with cool, creative ways to catch Sukuna, and he keeps outsmarting them or showing them he has more depth to his capabilities. I think it's awesome. I think this is some of the best combat in comics I've ever read, like consecutively for so long. This has been going on for how many chapters long?
It's been a while.
I'll
I'll look back.
This is Inhuman Makio. 28 chapters.
Oh yeah, 28.
How many weeks are in a year?
52.
12 times 52. So this is almost, a little bit more than over half a year of insane nonstop combat. Outside of little moments where they explain stuff or have a tiny backstory. So man, masterclass. Jujutsu Kaisen is goated. But I thought it was so insane that Yuji used convergence. I mean, the fact that he could use reverse curse energy was impressive, but convergence, wow. So he I guess I remember we had a big talk or debate or whatever about like, how do they share like traits from each other or something like that, like the blood manipulation
Mhm.
and all of that. And we figured that no, probably like Yuji doesn't, but he can use it. But so can a few. I mean, Sukuna could use it too. So I don't know. Must be just a general curse technique a lot of people could use.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Anyway, he landed 4 black flashes. I don't know if it counts the one that he landed on Toso, the blood manipulation guy.
Yeah, Chozo.
Yeah,
I think it
Choso,
still does count.
Yeah, it should still count. So,
Because I think the effects of Black Flash still happens even if you miss. Or even if it's blocked.
I forgot that. Yeah, and I have forgot that every time Itadori hits Sukuna, it like throws off his balance.
Mm-hmm.
So
this one probably hurts a lot.
Yeah, so he probably erased those other black flashes he had as far as like whatever he gained from them. At least that's a factor. I think, it's a key right there. Itadori's about to beat him fucking down.
It's a shame that
a few other people gonna die first though.
It's a shame that Sukuna's only consecutive Black Flash streak is only 3 though. Because he didn't hit all 4 back to back. He only hit 3 back to back.
Wait, what? Say that again, Brian?
Like he only has 3 back to back black flashes, right?
Who?
Sukuna.
Sukuna had 4.
No, he hit 1, and then after that he like did a bunch of other shit, and then he hit 3 in a row.
Oh,
So he only hit 3 in a row, so he's not even close to Nanami.
yeah. I guess it depends on what you're thinking. I guess like it depends on consecutive in one battle, consecutive like hit after hit after hit. But yeah, maybe.
What is Nanami's streak? 5?
I think so, something like that.
What's Yuji's?
Yuji, I don't know. I don't remember 8 stories.
I think he broke the record, didn't he, when he was fighting the flower guy?
Did he do that when he was fighting the flower guy? I thought when he was fighting Mahito, he had like hit him with a black flash like 4 times.
Yuji Black Flash streak.
But I think Nanami still holds the record technically. Like, besides possibly Sukuna at this moment.
Let me see. I think he's tied with Nanami. Hold on, let me see. This rush tied Nanami's record of 4 consecutive. Oh, so Nanami had 4 consecutive black flashes.
Mm.
And Yuji did also 4, so they're tied.
Nice.
So it looked like Sukuna was on his pace to hit hit that streak, and then Yuji got in the way of it. So I think it's kind of poetic.
Yeah, if he just breaks the record on Sukuna.
Yeah. He was on his way. He was like, yo, I'm about to break a fucking record today. And then Yuji comes in and is just like, nah, motherfucker. This is my shit. I run black flashes.
Like a ball player going into Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
I'm about to get my career high. I'm about to show the fuck out.
Well, those are your thoughts, Josh?
Yes.
I think it's funny how Yuji has awakened his curse technique before we find out what the fuck is up with his arms. Thoughts?
Well, we don't know if it's his technique. We just know that he's awakened, so...
Yeah, but what does that mean, awakened?
Yeah, I don't know.
That has to mean he has awakened a curse technique.
It could just mean that he's back in his, like, Black Flash mode, like that multiplier set when he just becomes, like, unstoppable for a little while.
Yeah, but that in of itself could be his curse technique. Maybe his curse technique does revolve around Black Flash. because he does, for someone who doesn't have a lot of like experience in this, he hits a lot of black flashes. Like,
yeah, but Gojo mentioned that he
this-
doesn't have one innately in him. So I don't know if he'll particularly get a technique that's unique to him, but
yeah, but maybe he does have like a special tuning towards black flashes, which would be insane for someone like him, right? Because
yeah.
he's
I mean,
very
Gege has been like really vague about it, because in one breath he would say that Yuji was like blessed by the black sparks, but then in another breath he'll say like the black sparks don't choose to bless anyone actually. So it's tough to say.
yeah, but at the end of the day, Yuji is that black flash guy.
maybe.
He has the most control over Black Flash than most people in this series.
Hmm.
Because whenever he's needed a Black Flash, he's always been able to get it. Everybody else gets like one or two Black Flashes. Sukuna was a special case because he's Sukuna, right? But even he isn't able to hit Black Flashes like that. Like, this is the first time we've seen him do it, right? Or like maybe once more before that.
Well, like the black flashes, they get more likely the more you do them. So like if you pull it off once, the likelihood that it'll happen again is a lot higher the more you do it. So it's a multiplier essentially.
Yeah, and what if there's like a lifetime buff that Yuji gets because he uses it so often?
That's possible.
He's used Black Flash a lot in a short period of time. So yeah. I thought LaRue using his curse technique the way he did was pretty fucking creative. And it just, this battle feels so, it's not like it's long, but it feels like it all makes sense. Like you don't feel like we've been in this fight for years, right? You don't feel like we like bored seeing this fight. It just adds more to how powerful Sukuna really is. Like, this guy has fought against people on a grander stage than this. Like, he's fought bigger odds against him, and somehow these guys are able to keep up with him in this case. So I don't know. This Sukuna against everybody fight has been so fucking enjoyable to read, and this is just incredible shit from a mangaka. Like, usually series when they're reaching their end starts to stumble a little bit, but this series has kept us engaged the entire time in a way that only a series like Hunter x Hunter, I feel like, can do when it comes to like action and like the depth of its power system and stuff like that. So I'm just frothing at the mouth for more JJK. So
Well,
those are my thoughts.
well, unfortunately for you, Brian, it seems that JJK is actually going on hiatus.
Yeah. Well, hiatus.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was just going on a break.
I think it's going on break for like couple weeks.
Why?
Because he's like preparing.
Why is this?
He's preparing because like this is we're getting close to the end here apparently.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm. Wait, let me make sure.
I don't see anything about him going on hiatus. I know. Oh wait. No. Yeah. No. I don't see anything about it.
Oh, I thought it
Last
was.
time he went on a definite hiatus was like 2001.
All right, maybe I'm bugging. I think I saw definitely that he's going to be off for a couple weeks.
I think there's a break for sure, but I don't think it's a hiatus. Let me see.
Yeah. In any case, I you know, what can I say? I also really like this chapter. Yeah, there is a lot of weird pushback from the community about this fight, and people are like getting sick of it, and I'm like, I don't know how you can. I think this makes total sense that this battle would be this difficult, and that these guys have these precautions of reverse curse technique to keep them in the game for so long. Because the game is not necessarily about defeating him. It's just wearing him down until you can. You know, like it's holding out for a long time. And it's being smart about the way you fight him so you can keep in the fight. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
This is like living up to the hype of what Sukuna is.
Yeah.
Because like from way back in the day, Sukuna was very powerful with like 3 fingers. So, you know, you're like, how much stronger can he get? Because he has 20. There's 20 levels to him. So, and he was like unbeatable at like 3.
And even now, he still hasn't used everything that he has.
There's also something interesting that I remember from rewatching Jujutsu Kaisen where they talk about the soul's relationship to the body and how they're kind of like symbiotic. You know, like one can't live without the other. So, and you know, Sukuna is still technically in Megumi's body.
Yeah.
You know, he's basically shapeshifted into this form, but it is Megumi's body still. So he's not even at the strength that he probably would be if he were actually within his own body. There's probably something to that.
Yeah.
But that's just like a theory I had in my head because I keep remembering that talk about how like the body is very important. It's not just like they don't exist separately of each other, the soul and the curse technique and the body. Like your power is dependent on your body and vice versa in your soul. So
Yeah. I think Megumi is the kind of key figure in this battle, in my opinion, though.
well, yeah.
Like he's still probably the most important character in the series at the moment, especially now that Kenjaku passed over the rights to him, you know, for the whatever big fucking monster is.
Mm-hmm.
So who's jamming right now?
Yeah, is there music in the background?
Josh?
Are you
What is this?
They are playing music outside really fucking loud. Do y'all not hear that?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we hear it very clearly.
Yeah, like
It sounds like elevator
let me
music.
mute.
It sounds nice.
Yeah, he's
I will say that.
blasting music from the stereo. I'm a mute.
No, you're good. You can't. I don't know. I was just confused.
Those are my thoughts.
Yeah. No, yeah. I those are also my thoughts. I'm having a great time reading this, and I'm very excited to see where it goes. Unfortunately, we won't get Jujutsu Kaisen at least for next week, which is sad because we'll also don't have One Piece till like in 2 weeks from now. So, you know, I'm excited to see how this all turns out. But those are all of my thoughts. Do we have any rebuttals? Anything else we want to add?
No.
No.
Good witness.
Alrighty. Well, with that being said, let's move onward. Kagurabachi. And with that, I'm going to toss this one over to Josh.
Yo. Hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, good. Yeah, he's gone. Right. Agurabachi, or as I've been saying for short, the box. I don't know why. You know, Kagurabachi, the botch. All right, anyway.
Yeah, the botch.
So last week, the week that we missed, your boy, I need help with the names. I forget the main character.
Chihiro.
Chihiro, thank you. One-handed Chihiro. He had lost his sword to this spellcaster man, and they're gonna break into a mansion in this whole fucking. I cannot remember the term. Is it an auction? Yeah, they're breaking into an auction house. Right? But not only are they breaking into an auction house, they're trying to break into an imaginary space. So yeah, It's gonna be quite the fucking challenge. But last week, Chihiro pulled up to the mansion and surprised us all by bringing the Cloud Gouger sword with him. In order to start popping shit off at the Suzanaki mansion. Cut to this week, where they actually go back in time, like right before, right when they was making plans to pull up to the mansion. Chihiro and his mentor are talking about, like, how even though Chihiro could use his sword that's been captured to see within the imaginary warehouse space, it's he's still limited in understanding like exactly where it's at or like the nature of it. One thing he understands is that the space is infinite, so it's not like it's like some other place that that his mentor could teleport to. There are conditions to it. There's no, it goes up forever, it goes sideways forever. It's just a bunch of weird spaces. Kind of looks like Kingdom Hearts, like when you go into the space world with your gummy ship. Anyway, they're still trying to find more information on the space itself. So they go to ask their homeboy that used to be down with the Suzanaki clan, but his father disowned him because he was almost worthless as a hostage.
Yeah,
They ask him like, how? Yeah, there's like, so like, what's up? Like, how does your dad have access to that? Like, did he always have that ability, or like did he get it bestowed upon him? And they basically figure out that there was like a ceremony that took place in the basement of their mansion where there was like a cemetery basically. And turns out there's like a random door somewhere within the imaginary space warehouse, and
Yeah, the
Chihiro has the storehouse, and Chihiro has seen people like teleporting in and out of it, so he knows that there's a way to get in there, perhaps outside of just the head of the clan's access. Like I said, like I mentioned, there's a door, and they try to ask their hostage buddy. I forget his name already.
Akuri?
Thank you. Yeah, see, it's actually right there. So he asks Akuri, like, yo, like, have you seen this door before? And yeah, he recognized that shit's in the basement by the burial ground. Makes sense. So we cut to the present. And the head of the clan is like sitting in his grand room, I think all alone. I don't think anybody started sitting there yet. Or maybe they have. Yeah, they have actually. He knows. He's like, he's here, which means he's figured it out. He doesn't look scared, but he was anticipating. He knew he would try something. Anyway, they pull up to the Nagano-join tribe. The Sazanami clan's underground cemetery. And all the security starts getting routed towards Chihiro. They know he's here, and they're very scared of him. So they know he's a big deal. Also, in the car is the rest of the gang. You have Hakuri, the mentor, this little kid that thought he was Superman in the last chapter that I didn't talk about, but
yeah.
maybe there'll be a moment to talk about him next time. And a couple of the other characters that we know and love. One of Brian's favorite characters in the top right seat, the little child, Heels. He's super psyched about that character.
Oh yeah.
So
He was definitely not my favorite character.
Yeah, sure. So they're about to teleport in, and we cut to Chihiro. He pulls out the fucking Cloud Gouger sword, says meh, and puts the sword in his mouth, Zoro style, pretty gangster, and starts carving everybody up. He makes the claim that even though the sword is broken, he has a few like charges in it, but once he after he uses it a few more times, the Cloud Gouger will be done. I don't like how that sounds, but we're gonna talk about that more later. like I said, he carves everybody up with the swords. Then the lights turn back on. It's looks like some particular bad guys. They don't look like regular goons, so I guess we're supposed to take them serious. One doesn't care, and the other one's really happy. So you know how that goes. The Chihiro actually doesn't look like he cares at all.
It's very rare that he does actually care.
I'm unbothered.
Yeah, it's super rare, very unbothered. He's like, yeah, I expected there'd be some notch goons out here. Then out of nowhere, boom. My second favorite character. What's up? You know her name, right?
I don't, but I know she's like the flame skeleton lady.
Dude, the flame skeleton lady pulls up and she's like, "Hey." She says, "Yo." Your hero looks at her. He doesn't say a fucking word, and that's the end of the chapter. So, Brian, what were your thoughts on Kagurabach?
Dude, the last chapter when it was revealed that he had Cloud Gouger was fucking awesome. I fucking love that part.
How many conclusions did you jump to? Because I know I jumped to a few.
I was more confused as to why he had his arm back. Like, did they just heal him up? They didn't mention it.
Oh yeah, they did heal his arm. I did remember that.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, I was kind of sad. I was kind of hoping his arm would stay gone. It's kind of sick.
When did that happen?
I don't know. I read this chapter a few times to see if I missed anything, but nope. He just has it back, I guess.
Yeah, at the beginning. Look. Oh shit.
But yeah, he has his arm back. I thought it was pretty sick where he's like, well, this sword's kind of fucked, and it only has a little bit left in it. So if there's anybody who's gonna use it, it might as well be me. This fucking Chihiro just has a fucking swag about him that I just can't. I just don't know how to like describe it. He has such a good aura for a main character, right? Like
Each swag.
kind of, not even like he just has. It feels like he has everything figured out. Like he's a character who's very well put together. He's he can handle stress. He's like very.
Hiko Kurosaki.
I don't know. Ichigo, isn't he a bit of a hothead?
Yeah, Ichigo's a bit of a hot.
Hero can be. When he gets to it, when he gets there.
Chihiro is
Hero.
incredibly composed. Like he's a very composed main character. So
Most
it's just
composed main character I've ever seen in my life.
all right. Well, all right. Calm down.
Go ahead.
I'd say
another one?
for a shonen protagonist, I'd say he's a very composed person. Like it's kind of refreshing, like usually we'd see like, shonen characters are very emotional or very outwardly driven. But Chihiro is very subtle with like how he expresses himself, right?
He's already a true warrior.
Yeah, like he looks like a seasoned vet. Like this is the way a character would act at the end of the series, and we're kind of starting with it. So
You know how Thorfinn is right now, at the end of season 2 of the anime?
I haven't
Hero
watched
been that
Vinland
all.
Saga, but
He's spoilers, but he's a true warrior now. Okay. And
Yeah,
so
I
is
believe it.
Chihiro.
He's a true warrior now.
yeah, it's just nice to see that he's not even like taking a back seat in these plans and stuff like that. He's figureheading the plans. Like he's actively creating opportunities for the rest of his team. Like he is so he's just so very he's a true leader. He's very composed. He's very like confident in him and all the people around him. It's just not something you see very often this early in the series for a main character in Shonen Jump, at least. So it's cool, really cool stuff. I really love the way that they kind of logically come up with these plans and are like putting things together. It was fun to see them be like, yo, what's going on here? Or hey, man, maybe this guy was bluffing about this. I just love seeing characters like think about how to get past things or see their thought process and how they come to certain conclusions. It's really fun, and I think this series does a good job at it. It feels like they're actually going for a heist, and I love heist shit. I'm a big fan of big plans to like rob some shit.
I'm
So
a big fan of big plans.
yeah, exactly. So
This is a movie called Ocean's 11. You'd love it.
I've watched it. I love heist movies. But yeah, those are my thoughts. This is a really fun setting for an arc. It's a fun problem to have, you know. There's a bunch of little curveballs that they can toss to them to like figure out. Really excited. Those are my thoughts.
Yeah, I thought this was super cool. This is my second favorite chapter of the week. Just because one thing I want to comment on is just like the fucking fight scene is so cool. I just love the way that, you know, this guy takes the lighting into account, you know, because this whole scene is just lit by the cloud gouger. So it's not too bright. You could just like feel that it's just this little incandescent light like traveling around everywhere. And yeah, it's so cool. It's just like so cinematic. He's a very unique artist, and I really enjoy reading his
Hokazano,
stuff all the
by
time.
the way.
Yeah. What's his
Mangaka's
name?
name is Hokazano.
Hokazano?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, he's a very unique artist, and I'm always excited to see how he kind of like pushes the envelope in that regard. I'm also glad that Firebone Lady is back. I think she's a fun character as well. And
they like set her up to show up earlier too.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm a big fan of her partner too.
Yeah.
I really like the way they bounce off each other.
Yeah.
I wonder if she's gonna put him in the 1v1 zone again.
But yeah, those are all my thoughts really. Brian pretty much said everything I wanted to say. But Josh, what did you think?
This was shit.
What?
Last week I started thinking about a lot of possibilities. First of all, I thought they fixed the Cloud Gouger sword. So I thought he was like, yeah, I may have lost that one, but I got this other one still that I earned from killing this dude. To kind of find out that it only had like a few more hits in it left, and that might be it for the sword entirely. That's pretty upsetting, but I guess there are like 4 other swords out there or whatever, so
Yeah, I don't think they could really fix
You know.
those without his dad.
yeah, or Chihiro himself, but he hasn't really had the time to be a blacksmith, so yeah.
True.
It was cool though. It was cool to see the sword. He's brazen as fuck, man. He just pulled up to the mansion and said, "I'm gonna kill all of y'all." I said, "Spellcasters do not fear my heart. I'm gonna pull up right to y'all graves and defile y'all dead homies.
Y'all don't
Take
got
my
no
sword
dog in
back."
y'all.
Don't y'all really not like that?
All of you are J. Cole. I'm Kendrick.
Damn, come on, bro. Relax.
Too
relax.
soon, bro. Come on, bro.
Chill.
What? I'm just saying, you know?
Listen. It wasn't that bad. None of them said sorry yet. So, all right. Yeah, the flame bone lady. She's gonna.
That
make
is just a
lot of
cope
pop.
by people with agendas.
Oh, wow, really nice, Chris. That was nice time.
It was a little late, to be honest.
That is just a cope.
I mean,
Bear back.
what else can I say, man? I think Haruki's a snitch, but he's a snitch for the good guys. So, I guess we're supposed to tolerate shit like that. I'm conflicted personally.
I guess we were supposed to be cool with it, I guess.
His father did call him worthless.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that struck a chord. I want to root for this guy. I mean, I think if it's like, I feel like if he didn't have to snitch, he wouldn't have, you know?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know.
Hey, did you
Actually,
get
he
it,
just
bro?
told him the information because he saved his life twice. Still ain't have to tell him nothing about his family. Oh, yeah. Those are my thoughts. I don't really have much more to say. I'm looking forward to the continued violence. Hopefully, some more Cloud Gouger action.
Keto Gyoger.
Meh.
Meh. All right. With that being said, let's move onward then.
What does that mean?
Undead Unluck.
Wow.
Now pass this one also over to Josh.
Okay, Undead Unluck. Chapters number 201 and 202. I'm not really going to talk a lot about chapter 1, just going to give you a quick little wrap up. So, last time we left off, we seen that Nico and his homegirl, Chico? Yeah, there we go.
Ichiko, yeah.
Nico and Ichiko are fighting up against one of these master rules called knowledge. She calls herself Land and also speaks of herself in the third as Land. So that's how I'm going to refer to her, in case anyone's confused. But last week, yeah, Nico, Chico, and Land started facing off in a battle of wits via the game of Shiratori. I had to do a little bit of research about so I can know what the fuck I'm talking about. Basically, Shiratori is like a wordplay game where you have to chain words, like words of the same letter together. For example, and they have to be nouns particularly. So, for example, if I say bottle, like the next person has to say something that ends with E. So like energy. And one of the rules is that you can't have a word that ends in the letter N, like even, or noun, with like the word itself, because there are no Japanese words that have that same N, whatever the similar character for it is in Japanese. You just can't end with an N. That's the best I can do, guys. Tried. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty challenging. They start going crazy. I mean, the crazy part about this game is that whatever the words they say manifest and do battle with each other too. That's like one of the special rules of it. And it's like done. It's used across 7,000 different known languages on their looped Earth. So, like it's crazy. I mean, he tried. She created like a meteor. He made a shield that Fuko told him about, and then it's like fucking Yu-Gi-Oh or something. You know what I mean? Like they're just manifesting things and attacking each other with it via Shiratori. It's pretty lit. Basically, like Nico was like really concerned because he felt like Land has way more of an edge because all he really knows is English and a little bit of Japanese, barely, but mostly English. And at the same time, Ichigo is in her soul form while her body is perishing as we speak. So, a lot of pressure. But eventually he uses his creative scientific mind to counter one of her really big attacks and save his ass. So that's where we're at for this week. After that interaction, he kind of thought that would do a lot of damage to Land. He ended up creating an explosion from the after effects of previous moves, and it wasn't enough. He says, "Damn, didn't affect it, huh?" But he feels like he has to grasp of the rules now. This is Deadly Rule Shiratori, a game where you counter what your opponent imagines. So, all right. The objective of the person going first is to conjure up something that's tough to counter for their opponent. It's about how well they stave it off. Right. It's like a offense, defense, and then whoever could create the deadliest like word to counter the other person's deadly word. So if someone says shark, if one person says sharks, you know, you got to say a word that starts with S that's also deadly enough to counter or beat out that shark. So like shark and then submarine, you know. So if you can, maybe he'll enclose himself in the submarine and protect himself from the shark. I think I'm doing it right.
Yeah, I think you're
So,
you're on the right track.
Yeah. You know, I mean, that's kind of the idea. So, right, so basically, he's like, damn, like that explosion ain't really do shit to her. Like, what the fuck could possibly neutralize her? And then he's thinking like maybe I can just beat her via the rules, and she starts letting her know like, basically, you can't catch me. I'm running out of words. Like it's this like the game is essentially infinite. Cause she used the word she used the word eruption, which ends in an N, which is a good point, right? During your last turn, that word has an N in it, doesn't it? Right? She says, but the Japanese translation doesn't end with an N. You're allowed to play word with an N in English.
It's nuts.
The word chain game in English doesn't have a clear rule about losing either. That's the reason I made it so that you lose if the Japanese translation ends in N. So because she used the English word eruption, it's fine because in Japanese the word for eruption doesn't end in an N. Or something like that.
Some shit.
So basically, he comes to the conclusion that, well, Lan lets him know that she could keep playing forever by chaining together words from a different language. Like, there's like infinite possibilities. So beating her via the rules is impossible. She knows this essentially. That's why she set it up this way. And she says, "You'll lose, and your life is mine." So she does this creepy ass sharp tooth smile. And Lan's got a little aura to her. Not gonna lie, she's pretty fucking creepy. Pretty psychotic. She wants to win. So he says, I see now this is bad news. Yeah, bro. Science isn't fucking working right now, man. So she's like, all right, what's the new language gonna be? And he picks French. Very reluctantly, because he doesn't really know any other language, you know. He uses war, which is Kabe. And we cut to Fuko riding back in the Nimbus, trying to get back to Nico and to save him. They start getting attacked by random ass fucking airships, and they notice that it's actually like humans, and it's this war, the master rule for war from a distance, like controlling them, which is kind of like that's kind of cheap.
Yeah.
Why is he allowed to do that? Why hasn't he done that before? I have questions. I guess we'll address that later or in another chapter. Hopefully it'll be addressed. Anyway, she's distracted. She can't catch up to Ishiko and Nico. It's looking bad. So the wall that he brings up, she says Lance of Longinus. That's not real. That's the thing.
I have
Did
no
someone look
idea.
that up? Lance of Longinus?
Brian, could you look up Lance of Longinus?
Lance of Longinus.
Longinus. So it's
Long?
Longinus.
I swear to God, she made that up.
Well,
But
there's a soldier named Longinus who stabbed Jesus.
Oh God. Oh my God.
Jeez.
Tozuka, what the fuck?
She used a heathen spear. That's fucking insane.
Yeah, it's the Holy Lance that stabbed Jesus
The lance
while
that
he was on the
pierced
cross.
God's child.
It's called the Spear of Destiny.
Christian descent. Spear of Destiny.
Yeah, the Spear of Destiny or the Holy Spear. That goes hard.
Holy shit. Take that, Christ. Don't be fucking.
the Spear of Destiny.
Don't be rallying up these poor people and telling them they're worth something. Like this.
That's the worst thing you can do.
Yes. Don't tell them they have collective power. So, yeah. Epic. Fucking epic. I just remembered that I'm still covering the chapter. Anyway. So yeah, I got lost there. So right, breaks down his wall with the lands of Longinus, which was lore rich. I didn't know that, but we do now. I'm like, holy shit, like what are we gonna do now? Now Land goes up and creates she added Chinese, an asshole, and said Shenlong, which is Shinryu, whatever, and creates a big ass dragon, yo. And like shit. Chico says like, yo, like you gotta use like your imagination to beat something like him. You know, like come on. And he creates a Japanese yokai monster.
Well, Ichigo does.
Oh, Ichigo does, and it's a little puny, pathetic creature that gets generated by the dragon's fire blast. It also hurts Ichigo because it was a soul-based attack. That's like been a theme for the past 2 arcs, I've noticed. Nico calls her a rotten little brat for damaging his girlfriend. That's right, Nico. Fuck that bitch, man. He's like, what's the difference between this turn and the last? The answer is clear. This was about between things that aren't real, a battle of imagination, because dragons don't exist. They made a whole thing about it, and Lamb was just like, who cares? It's a thing in fiction, so I can make it up. And Nico was devastated as a man of science, but he understands that he has to make some imaginary bullshit to beat her. That's the only way to win. But Ichigo's like, yo, can you hear me? Like, I'm gonna explain later, but there's something I need you to know, right? What? Oh, okay. So she's like, she basically ends up speaking telepathically somehow to Fuko and asks Fuko to do her favor. And she's like, "You sure?" She's like, "Yeah, I got you." And Ichigo with her move in Shiratori says unfade, which is actually Fang Kowloon from what was his name? Was it his name? Yeah, Fang was the character Fang. So she summons him via Shiratori, and then Fugo also transfers the points to him to become a table member, to join the fight, and he comes in mid sleep, and kills the fucking dragon. I guess by dropping on him. I don't know. That was crazy. But he, like I said, he was napping and he woke up and has no fucking idea where he's at, and that's where the chapter ends. Okay, Brian, since you read Undead Unluck religiously, what were your thoughts on this chapter?
Man, that was a crazy chapter. Holy shit!
Yeah.
Like when she brought up the fucking lance that stabbed Jesus, I was like, yo, that's a crazy plot twist.
Pretty fucking epic, honestly.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, she brought out the hold on, what's it called again?
The Lance of Longinus.
The spear of destiny. Holy,
The Spear of Destiny.
that was wild. I was like blown away. Incredible stuff. And when Fuko said that one thing that she said, I was like, whoa.
She said, "Roger that."
That was insane. I was like, yo, that's
Went
that's
crazy.
my goat right there.
That went crazy.
That's my fucking goat. I'll never hear.
Very small hesitation.
Whenever I say Roger that from now on, I'll be thinking about how Fuko said it. You know what I mean? But yeah, those are my thoughts. Great chapter.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. There are certain chapters of manga that come up and are very reliant on, like things in Japanese culture that I'm not very familiar. So this kind of made this a little bit of a tough read for me. But I did really like how it resolved at the end of the day. I guess like the rigmarole of the game was a little like distracting for me. But the overall story was like still pretty cool. And whenever Fang shows up, the chapter increases in quality. So I'm here for Fang showing up, adding some variety into this. It's a very unlikely matchup as well. So,
Yeah, I did not see this coming.
yeah, I'm very excited to see how this turns out. I don't know how Fang is gonna contribute to the game. Maybe because she's using more Chinese words, so like with Fang there, they'll be able to help.
Oh. Yeah, and he can imagine some deadly shit.
Yeah,
Mm,
but
maybe. Yeah, it was so random.
yeah, but those are really all my thoughts. I'm excited to see where this goes. To be honest, Fang is a plus for me at any point. So, Josh, what did you think?
Interesting like fight so far. It was cool learning about Shiratori. Makes a lot more sense to me now, but it really is about the summons at the end of the day. It's not about the game itself. And like we determined in the chapter, the game itself, Land's never gonna lose that way anyway. So it's gonna be about the theatrics, which whatever. I thought it was really clever how Nico Land explode like in the last chapter. And I think like that'll probably be the extent of his cleverness with the game, but we'll see. We'll see maybe how Fang interacts with them. He's probably gonna want to kill all of them in the first place, but I think he's down for I think Shiratori is like a really old game, so he might know of it even if he's Chinese and it's a Japanese based game. They played in other cultures, aside from Japan, but I think it's a game that originated in Japan. I don't know for sure, but I think Fang. What's really gonna happen is that Fang is gonna help facilitate Nico's what do you call it? His negation ability.
Oh yeah,
And I think he's gonna help save like he's gonna help like him do it safely, even if he doesn't do it on purpose.
yeah,
That's what I think like Fang is ultimately gonna lead to. And he's gonna memorize all the fucking languages he's ever seen and said, Lan, haha, you're pack again. See you next time, lame. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He might peace out after that. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Cool stuff. And wait to see what happens next week. It won't be on hiatus, right?
Nope.
Nice. Like other Prima Donna series.
Yeah.
On an
Hiatus
unrelated note,
Kaizen.
on an unrelated note, how sick
One
would it have been?
hiatus.
How sick would it have been if One Piece was drawn by Horikoshi and written like the story written by Oda? That would be fucking insane.
It would be really sick.
Like, what if that's
Yeah.
why Horikoshi's rushing to end My Hero?
I think a collab.
Yeah, so that he can start drawing One Piece.
Make a story about Wow.
How fire would that be?
I guess.
I don't know. That'd be. I like Oda's style.
I also really like Oda style.
Yeah, but Oda's busy.
For-
He's
for
a
One
busy
Piece,
man.
for One Piece.
He's got a lot of shit to do, you know? Like he has a lot to work on.
I'm not game for that, bro.
Sorry, it's already set in
gonna
stone.
keep
I'm
it
the
a
boss
stat.
here.
No.
Yeah.
You're not the boss.
I'll go
yet.
use the bathroom.
This
I'll
is
be
a
back.
democratically run podcast.
Says who?
No.
We have a king. We have an unbiased king.
He's unbiased, which means he allows other opinions to exist.
All right, I'll be back.
That's got to be what it means, right?
What means?
Being unbiased, being the unbiased king means you allow other opinions to exist.
Yeah. Because I can't be biased towards them. It's a big responsibility. But someone's got to do it. Are we were those all your thoughts, Josh?
Yeah, that was all my thoughts, man.
All right, well then let's bring this bad boy home. That has been our show. Thank you guys so much for listening. As per usual, you could find us at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Brian is at b.esp on Twitter and Instagram. He plays video games sometimes, and he streams it at twitch.tv/its punchline. Josh is at jdcolt_37 on Instagram, at New Gem City Josh on Twitter. You can follow the show itself at New Gem City on Twitter and Instagram. Email the show at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about. And tune into our pre-show chat show that we put out now, where we answer the questions. We talk about, news in terms of manga. We talk about a bunch of other stuff, that's not manga. Check all that out. Subscribe to us, please, on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, YouTube, wherever you listen to podcasts. We're there. Give us a like, give us a share, 5-star review. Engage with the show if you can, if you like it. I think that's it. Thank you guys so much for listening. Eternally grateful as always. And stay safe, New Jump citizens.